4 decades of life. You've gone through things. You've seen things.
You've learned.
You
learned. Realize what's important, what's not, what to stress. Welcome to Mama's Playground. This is Darlene.
And this is Monica.
And here we talk about parenting and all things life. What are we talking about today, Monica?
Ooh, we've been looking forward to this one. Well, from Father's Day episode, we said we were going to talk about this one. So I'm excited about this one. And what is it about? It is about women in their 40s, right?
Woo-hoo.
And I'm going to tell you why I said, because I'm the one that said, Darlene, I think we should talk about this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been noticing a shift in me for like the past month.
Uh-huh.
And I think it has to do with my age.
So how so though?
I don't know. I just feel like I'm talking more. You know, I like to talk, obviously. No, not at all.
Monica
not
does
at all.
not like to talk.
No, but I've noticed something about
Me
me.
neither, right?
No, you forget about it, man. That's why we started this podcast, because we hate to talk.
But I wonder who talks the most, you or me?
Man, I think we can
think
compete.
you.
You do think
I
me?
think you.
I think I
Yeah.
just always have something to say. Like, I think that I can't stay like in silence. Like, somebody says something and then I have to say something. I don't know.
I'm
but
so
you talk a lot
curious.
too. So we could do like a competition, you know? But I was talking to a friend at dinner. She's in her 30s, by the way, like late 30s. And I was like, well, I told her, I was like, I feel lately that I cannot stop talking. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because I'm home with kids and I'm working from home, and then I only go to the office 2 days out of the week, that when I grab onto somebody, I'm like, oh shit.
With an adult.
Oh, with an adult.
Yes.
Like, I grab onto and I want to hear everything. Tell me your life. Tell me what's, I'm the psychologist. I want to also spew everything out. I want to talk to the person that just walked by.
Oh my God.
To everybody. And when I was younger, I start to think, I was like, was I like that when I was younger? And although I was talkative, I don't think so. I don't think that confidence to just talk to anybody and not give, excuse me for my language, a shit about if they like it, if they don't like it. Now I feel like I'm more confident in my skin.
Yeah.
Like, I don't second guess so much as I used to.
Of course. Confidence comes with age. Yeah.
With age.
But it's funny that you say that you talk like to everybody, because I'm the
Everyone.
same way. And sometimes my husband gets upset at that. He'll be like, we're on a date, because we like to sit at the bar. Like, when we go to, I don't know, if it's just us, like, let's eat at the bar. I don't know. I like it. And
he's like, this is date night, babe, and you're talking to the bartender or the...
I don't know. Like, I just love meeting people and just, I don't know. And then I'll start
connecting.
talking. Yeah. And he's more quiet. So yeah. And he's like, wait, we're here on a date. Why are you talking to everybody? And he's right. But I don't know. I love that.
Put something in there where you
Yeah.
said that talking to everybody and you love, and the word is connecting.
Yes.
So this is what I've noticed. I don't do it because I'm interested in anything, or, that person, I'm going to talk to them because there's something that I could get out of them. No, I just literally want to talk to people, get to know stuff about them, connect with people on every level, where before maybe I would have been like not so inclined to, I want to say, or maybe I wouldn't have felt so confident even if I wanted to speak to that person. And I think, again, it comes with age and maybe being trapped in the house sometimes with the kids. I need the adult conversation.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's nice connecting with people, and just you get to know so many things. And we're in Miami, it's so many different cultures, so you learn from everybody that you talk to. And one thing that I've noticed, that I've been doing it, I did it yesterday at the playground. For some reason, it's when I'm talking to other moms, like just getting advice from them and me giving advice, like, oh, take them to this swimming class, but do this, and ask for this instructor, and don't go to this school, go to this one, and do this with the kids in summer. I don't know. I know it's probably they don't ask for my advice. I give it anyway. I'm sorry. But, and also just getting advice from other moms that are going through the same thing that we're going through. And just connecting and learning and knowing that you're not alone, and that's part of what we do with this podcast as well.
I've noticed that it's funny that you said that. One day I was in the car with Darlene, and she's like, "Wait, hold on, this is really important. Stop what you're telling me." And it's like somebody from school or whatever, and they're talking about their their things about what class is she going to be in, and this and that. And I noticed it's like, I don't know if it's mama drama. I don't know
Mama drama.
if it's
No,
mama
it's-
drama or.
It's just so weird, the things that we didn't think about before having kids. You know, it's just weird. Now we had like all this drama because Luna, she's going from pre-K to VPK and then camp in the middle at her daycare, and you know she has like her best friends.
She has
and
her
then
clique. She has her clique.
Yeah, no. The other day, the director of the school goes, that classroom, we call it the high school classroom because there's drama. There's like the mean girls. My daughter's
Meanwhile, they're
not mean,
four.
by the way.
They're 3-4 years
Yeah.
old.
So then we found out, you know, that they were splitting some of the kids. So some of the parents were like upset, like, wait, no, you got to keep them together. And this drama lasted for a couple of days, and then we opened this chat, and it actually consumed so much of my energy, and I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I'm here and the kids are fine, and I'm here like fighting, like
The parents are the ones fighting, like, no, you're going to put my kid with so-and-so. You're not going to take them away from their best friend.
Yeah, definitely not what we were thinking about in our 20s, that I never thought that this was going to be like
I think it's that's what I'm
something that would
saying.
upset me. They separate, and then the kids don't care if, well, I mean, they care, but
not as much as
They
the
don't-
parents.
they
I'm
don't
literally
realize.
sitting on the outside and I'm like, wow, these women are really going at it about their freaking schedule and the class that they're going to go into and the teacher that they're going to see. I was like, let me just stay. And then it happened to me.
and then it happened to you. You
Like
were
2 weeks
telling me
later.
this morning. Yes.
Yeah.
You
It-
see?
and I was like, whoa, Darlene's like really in on it with these moms at the school. But then it happened to me.
Yeah.
It's like then a little, Jacob's little, one of his really good friends' moms called me. She's like, what class is Jacob going to in like kindergarten? I was like, I don't know. I was like, but they should put them together. And then we started on the whole thing, and I was like, oh wow, am I getting old? It's like these are los temas that are like so interesting. You know what I mean now?
And watch it how it's gonna keep like
Flowing.
changing all the stuff.
The ebb and flow.
Oh my God. And the questions that these kids ask, it's like, oh, how do I answer this? Like, nobody told me like how to answer this. I'm constantly like looking up, like, God help me. God help me.
I was going to tell you something. I don't want to veer away from this particular topic because it is the positive stuff of like the 40s, right?
Yeah. I love being in my 40s.
You know, thinking of this, like when I was thinking of like the this episode and like the stuff that we were going to talk about, one thing that I noticed too, like being in the 40s, I've noticed, I don't know if it's like lately, I'm noticing it more. When I want to connect with people, it's actually more like on a spiritual like link. Like for me, at least Monica, I stop to talk to somebody and I really genuinely want to hear about their life. I want to hear why they think the way that they think. I want to not be blinded. You know, like back in the day when I think, at least for me, you're in your 20s and you just go with the flow. Like
Yeah.
your friend tells you, hey, don't be friends with that girl because she's and you're like, oh yeah, I'm not going to do it because my friend said that. And as I've gotten older, I give everybody that benefit. I don't care if you come to me and say, hey, Monica, the producer here that's doing our show right now, I don't like
Shout out
her.
to Monica.
I'm like, I'm not going to. Shout out to Monica.
She's also Monica.
Yeah, she's behind this. But if you tell me something about her, and then I'm like, oh yeah, Johnny, I don't like. No, I will actually at this point where
You
I'm
give
at in
the
my
benefit
life,
of the doubt.
I want to know everybody on a personal. Not everybody, obviously, I can't know everybody, but I want to meet people, and I want to understand people, and I want to see
Their
really
experiences.
their experiences, which I think it's from coming older, like becoming older. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's beautiful how now at this age we also appreciate these relationships better, these connections, and just the friends that we have. Like, and I think about, I would be worried in my 20s. Oh, this friend of mine did this to me, and it would hurt me. I've always been like surrounded by a lot of friends, and a lot of in the past I've been hurt by friends, and it would affect me so much. But then in the long run, like everything happens for a reason, and now thank God I'm surrounded by a great group of friends, and old ones and new ones like you. The
Yeah.
producer was just asking this morning, how long have you known each other? And we're like, a year and 4 months. She's like, it doesn't seem like it.
It seems like forever. You're like my soul sister.
Yeah, and we met at the CPK at the restaurant, and it's
And we
about
hit it
being
off.
open. You never know who you're gonna meet out there.
But there's a good example of what
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Like, we got to know each other. You said, let's get our, exchange numbers. And from there, I got to know you, your mom.
Yeah.
And it was an instant connection where I think maybe when we're younger, not that doesn't happen. I don't want to cross that because that's like,
Yeah.
you can't say that. But I think now it's like you're more, like, you're quicker to take people out of your life that are not, I don't want to say beneficial, but that don't serve or don't, not benefit, because that's the wrong word. What am I trying to say? Like, you're quicker to cut people out that can harm you in any way.
Yeah.
Like, I think you're like, you know what? I'm not going to deal with this. I've seen it, for instance, in that relation, like, let's say single friends that start dating at this age, that they're dating. They're not married. They don't have a boyfriend, and they start dating. It's like it's quicker for them to say, I'm not going to deal with the BS. Done. I don't like it. And on.
You know what you
I'm
want.
42. I know what I want. Or I'm 45. I know what I want. I'm not dealing with this. And
yeah. And I feel that could probably be something that affects a lot of relationships, because when you're like in your 40s and you're having issues with your spouse, I don't know. I feel that, especially if you met later in life, if you got married later, I think when you're in your 20s, like, it's easier kind of like to adapt, to change your ways a little bit. But when you're in your 40s, it's like, this is how I am.
Yeah.
So that's not a good thing to do. You have to, like, it's called commitment. And you both have to, like, come to common grounds and balance each other, meet in the middle. But it's harder at our age, because it's like, come on, I've been like I'm 45. For 45 years, this is me. Like, don't try to change me.
a little like snippet of a podcast that she's doing. Brene Brown, right? She's like that.
Oh, Brene Brown.
I love Brene Brown, right? A lot of stuff that she's
amazing.
written, like her TED Talks, all this stuff. And she said, it is BS. I mean, coming to terms now, and obviously this lady's probably in her 50s already. And you grow as you're going through life cycles. Excuse me, I'm stuttering. Life cycles, you start to change, you start to evolve.
Yeah.
And I don't think you ever stop evolving. I think you keep growing. I think right now in our 40s, we're kind of like in between. We're not so young as our 20s, even
Yeah.
maybe early 30s, but we're definitely not 50s yet.
Yeah.
And she was saying about the partners thing. She's like, you get to a point in your life and an age, she's like, it's BS when people say, you meet in the middle 50-50. She's like, there's no middle 50-50. I don't know if you saw this.
I didn't see that one, but actually Fabian just sent me an article the other day, a video. It wasn't her. But it's so interesting. Oh my, I got goosebumps because as you were talking about it. I was thinking about that article. And okay, so what made?
So
let's see if it's the
she
same
just
one.
said it's a little snippet. She just says,
Yeah.
you know what, my husband and I, we say, okay, we have 100%, right? You have 100% and I have 100% percent to give. Sometimes, darling, you may get home and you really only have 30%
Yeah.
to give.
Yeah.
So then you talk with your husband and you say, hey, listen, today, like, what percentage are you in? This was like
Yeah.
what she was saying. What percentage are you in today, darling? I'm only got 30%. Don't worry, I'll take over that 70 for you today.
Exactly.
So because it's never really meet in the middle. There's going to be days that you don't,
Yeah,
there's days that
maybe
you're lacking.
Sometimes you're 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're 10 and the other person has to
Yeah.
come in with the 90. And then the next day they cover
It's
you.
the other way around.
And that's teamwork.
I think it's hardly ever 50-50. At least not in my household.
This is, again, something that I'm realizing now in my 40s. Because if you would have asked me in my 20s or even in my 30s or like 5 years ago, I would have never even thought of that as to be true. I would have thought like, oh, no, it's a 50-50.
50-50, yeah.
50-50. Like, and I remember in my 20s telling a friend of mine, like, no, he has to meet me 50-50. This was in my 20s. And she was older. And she said to me, that's unrealistic. And I was like, no, they have to meet me 50-50. And the truth is that, there's going to be days emotionally, so on, that you're not at your 100% and you can't even give 50. You can only give 10.
Exactly. You're
know?
sick or you're just overwhelmed or you just have a lot of work. And it's very important to have that in the household, that balance each other out until between the two of you get to the 100. At times, the other day I was doing this transcript, and I was sitting down for 9 hours working, and Fabian, thank God that he didn't have like a big job he was working in, because it's most of the time it's him, the one that's like really busy. And he's like, no worries. He went to pick up Luna. He fed her, bathed her, and that was one day where it was like 90-10, because I was just like focused on the
Consumed.
work. Yeah. I remember you were calling me or something, and I'm like sending you pictures of the transcript. I'm like,
I'm not answering her phone calls.
I can't do
She's gonna talk
podcast
to me
talk.
too much. She's not gonna let me like hang up the phone.
Yeah.
But you see, but let me ask you a question. Did you think that way in your 20s? Like, if you had a relationship in your 20s or late 20s, did you really give the benefit of the doubt, or were you more como like a brat? No, I don't want to say brat, because we all have different needs at different times.
Yeah.
But more like, you just, I think with time I've evolved to kind of give the benefit of the doubt, to kind of see things in a different light, to understand that not everybody is the same, to understand that, even though sometimes I do get a certain way, the bulk of the time I do sit back and I actually take a seat back and think to myself, am I correct? Where back when I was in my 20s, you could never tell me I was wrong. I don't know if that's a personality thing, or if it's a growing thing, or is it an age thing, but I do feel
more
like
like
for
a
me,
rebellious thing, that I'm not wrong. Is that
not wrong? Like, it was just more like, not wrong. But where you wouldn't maybe give the benefit of the doubt so much. Like, you always felt like, no, you have to do this because and now it's like, no, it's okay. Like, go ahead. I understand. Like, the understanding, the comprehension, the compassionate thing has evolved more now in my 40s than I would say that I was still in my 20s. I don't know if that makes sense.
It's for me to answer that question. It's so hard because I didn't have any relationships in my 20s. I started late with everything. My first boyfriend, I was 30.
But that's good.
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
And so by the time that I was in a relationship, in the first one, I was already in my 30s, and I don't know. I had dated here and there, but it was never I was never expecting anything from anybody. I'm a rare case. Wrong person to
not
ask.
expecting. No, don't get me wrong. I've always been independent. It's
Okay.
not expecting, no, but I mean
expecting it should be 50-50 and this is what you should be doing.
You
This
meet me
is-
in the
yeah,
middle,
meet me.
always. You
Uh-huh,
have to
yeah.
meet me in the middle because this is a relationship teamwork. But you know what? Sometimes teamwork is covering somebody
Yeah.
else. And I think with age, again, because we're going back to the episode of being in your 40s and the positive things, those are one of those positive traits that I see that with time you start to realize that not everything is the way that you see it. And you kind of take, at least for myself, maybe somebody else says, I know a 40-year-old that's not like that at all,
Yeah.
But for me, I feel like I've taken a back seat on certain things, and I try to see a lot from the outside looking in, even if I want to assume something or I want to
Put yourself on the other person's shoes.
more now
Yes,
than I
yes.
used to. I think I've been doing this since I was in my 30s, but now more than ever.
And we even have to do that with our kids.
Yeah.
When they're, let's say, sometimes, they drive you crazy. Mommy, mommy, mommy. They want attention. But sometimes you have to really stop and listen to them and put yourself in the shoes. They're trying to communicate something with you. You're not listening. You're like, I'm busy later. And we have to also pay attention to what they want. And obviously, we weren't thinking about that in our 20s.
At
It's
all.
interesting, all the things that we could tell our younger selves today. Don't sweat the small things, be happy with what God gave you. That's one thing. In our 40s now,
We're more confident.
we're more confident. We're not paying too much attention to what are the new trends in fashion. It's like, I know what pair of jeans works for me, and I'm going to stick to those.
the one that sticks in the mama pooch, the one that, It's
I'm you know your body, and you learn to love it. The good, the bad, the cellulite, the everything that could be down there. You learn. And obviously in our 20s, we were more critical over ourselves. Now, I don't know. I love being in my 40s. The only thing I don't love is, when you're trying to have more kids because you started late and that's another topic for another day. But
I don't like the crow's feet that's coming out, or like, but it's part of
Yeah.
aging. It's like for every line that
Yeah.
I see, I'm like, that's a line of wisdom right there. There's another line of wisdom here, another line of wisdom here. I start to like look, but I remember back in the day, I was in my 20s working in real estate, and I had a lady, I looked up to her. She was a beautiful woman, beautiful physically, and also her personality. She was vivacious.
how old was she?
She was in her 40s. I must have been like 28, 27, and she must have
Which
been like
at that time for us, it was like, oh, she's old.
Oh no, but she didn't look old, man. She came in and she was like one of these women that still probably to this day, because we're still friends, through social media and all that stuff. She would always come in and she had this great energy on her. And I remember talking to her, and I never forget, actually I thought of this again, discussing this topic. She said to me, Monica, I think I was like venting to her about something in my life. And she's like, oh my God, how I do not miss being in my late 20s, she says to me.
She said
that. She's like, and she goes, I'm in my 40s. And let me tell you something, Monica. I guarantee you that when you get into your 40s, you just don't give a shit anymore. Like you do things because they're enjoyable to you. You start to know how to say no to people and
Yes,
and
that
start
is
putting
so
boundaries. And I'm seeing that. Now I'm seeing that more and more in my life, where I am not allowing people's perceptions to make me lose sleep at night, or I'm putting a little bit more boundaries. I'm not there yet. I'm a people pleaser in certain things, but I am changing, and I feel that change.
Yeah. And our priorities change. Now it's more about not what people are saying, not what people think, but, our kids.
Yeah.
Are they okay? What do they need? Do they have everything they need? It's more raising them to be like good kids. Going a little bit off subject. Something that's happening to me, it's like I kind of like see the kids that she hangs out with. Like the other day, hopefully they won't listen to this, but there was this girl, she's older, and she was kind of like bullying Luna. So now like Luna will keep asking, oh, when are we going to see her? And I'm like, I don't know. But I'm like, she would be the kid that, oh my God, wait, I can't say this, that she would tell, okay, if you're listening in the car and there's a kid with you, cover their ears, please, please, please. She's the type of kid that would be like, Santa Claus doesn't exist. And so
she'll
I'm
ruin
like,
it for you.
Yeah, so that's one thing that I've been doing that, I don't know. I'm careful also like who she hangs out with.
But imagine, and she's like, when are we going to see her again? Because she didn't even realize. You thought she was bullying, and you're looking at her like, oh, this little girl, I'm going to talk. But
so bad.
Luna didn't see it that way because they're so innocent. You already have your years of experience, and you're like, that little
Yes.
girl has X, Y,
And I
and
will
Z.
not tell her that because one thing is that I don't want my daughter to be judgmental, or I always want her to, be nice to everybody and give everybody the benefit of the doubt. And like you were saying earlier, Monica, if somebody says, don't talk to her because of this, and that, no, you find out for yourself.
For yourself, always.
Because it's happened so many times. Oh, this person, I don't like this person, because then you meet them and they're wonderful.
And it's
everybody's
because energies
experiences are different.
Yeah. You and I maybe click, and then somebody else I talk to goes, I don't like Monica. Monica talks too much, She talks way too much. I don't want to sit there and listen to that all day long, But I mean, it's true. It's like, it's all about chemistries and so on. I just, now in the age that we are, I think now we're a little bit more outgoing. I think I was always kind of outgoing, but I wasn't as outgoing as I am now in the sense of talking.
More secure.
More secure.
Yeah.
And you know what? And if I feel a weird vibe, I'm like, I'll pass the page and keep moving. Where before I would have marinated with it in my mind, going, oh my God, they don't really like me. And I don't know why they don't like me. What did I
Yeah.
say?
And now we don't give a
shit.
I mean, okay, come on. No, we do. We got. Let's be honest.
care.
We care, but
Not to that extent.
our priorities again, they shifted more towards our personal relationships at home, the kids, the values, our husbands. Another thing, as we get older, we think about this a lot, and it's our parents. Spending as much time as we can with them, because we're not getting any younger. They're not getting any younger. So also appreciate your parents, and spend time with them, and, and their health and their doctor's appointments. So when you have all this going on, again, family, priorities, kids, husbands, relatives,
That's
whatever.
true.
When other stuff comes from the outside world, you don't give a shit. You're like, you know what? I don't have time for that.
Yeah, there's things that are more important, or there's a priority. Where back in the day, everything was a drama. Like when
Yes.
you're 16, 17, everything is a drama. And then in your 20s, it's all drama. Oh my God, did you see? And you're consumed by the drama. And now it's no more. And also, too, I think as we're parents, I think it's no longer so much that drama. I think now again, you're so focused on building confident kids,
Yeah.
building, a healthy family, having a roof over your head, your parents, a huge one. Like sometimes
Yeah.
I stay up at night and this has happened to me and I don't know if you can say that, but I do think about I'm going to cry if I think about it. I start thinking about
know where you're going.
my parents and I go, man, they're getting older. Like
Yeah.
I never thought about this the way that I do as I think I did, but not as how much it's affecting me now. Because I'm like, oh my God, my mom and my dad, and like one day they may not be here. Like I want them to be here. I want to see my kids grow up with them. Like I'm more living kind of in the present moment,
Yeah.
even though sometimes we are on automatic pilot. But I am more there and I am more conscious of
Yeah.
wanting to appreciate life and
Yes.
enjoy it.
Yeah, and also your kids, like
Yeah.
teaching them, like, hey, appreciate your grandma, your grandpa, and on my side, oh my God, Luna loves her grandparents, loves them, and it makes me so happy because since again I started late, in my life to have kids and all that, I was always worried because my parents are excellent grandparents and they have 7 and a great grandson. And I was always worried, like, oh my God, imagine if I ever have a kid and they're not going to be around it's going to like kill me. And now seeing it happen, it's just such a beautiful blessing. And
Yeah.
so we have to appreciate that. Which probably in our 20s, we were like, I hate you. Oh, you don't understand what I'm going through.
but we have to, the thing is that, when my mom would try to protect me from those things, she would tell me, you're going to wake up one day and you're going to be 30 something or 40 and you're going to see how things change.
Yeah.
You're not going to think that when I was like, and unfortunately, as a parent now, I see it. You cannot control those things. Your kids have to go through the cycles. They have to live it. They have to see it. They have to learn from their mistakes. They have to see life in order to appreciate life. Like they have to see all the good and the bad in order to appreciate what's coming. And I think that's where we are right now. And imagine, I've talked to people older. Listen, we talked to your dad not that long ago, and your dad was talking about he's going to be 80, next
Yeah.
year. And he was saying about the kids, hold them, hug them, guys.
Yes.
Always don't let them go. Time goes so fast.
Yeah.
It's fleeting. And it's true. I think we're so much more aware of it right now at the age that we are. And also because we are moms right now to small kids,
Yes.
So
So no, like for example, if they call me, oh, we're gonna like go out for drinks. I always love that. I always love that. But still, if like Luna will come to me and it's like, let's have mother-daughter time, mom. Let's watch a movie. Those are moments where I'm like, I'm staying in.
Yeah.
Because especially, in a couple of years and when she's a teenager, hopefully, we're raising her in a way that she will always want to spend time with us. But also
let's be realistic.
What might happen is like, Mom, sorry, I have plans another day. And you're going to be like, oh, man, you're going to... The importance, like, live your life with that you are not going to regret not doing something in a couple of years. So you have to do that. You had a really cool article, which, by the way, I love that author.
I do. We brought her up on another episode. She's a blogger, and
Katie
then she's got
Bingham Smith.
well, but
She's the one that wrote the article.
but the one that always posts these nice articles comes on Scary Mommy.
Scary Mommy.
So she always she finds like this like cool, like I love her, like I
Yeah.
love her blog page or whatever
I
she's
guess
on
she
Instagram.
has independent writers because this one, her name
Yeah.
is Katie Bingham, and I love this because when I was reading this article,
Did you read it for real?
I did. I read it. No, I read it. I read it, and I felt so. I'm excited to go over it because it's so true what she talks about, and something that I love about her. What was it that she says? Where is it?
Well, let me first read the title of this article was Your 40s are actually amazing and here's why. Because that 40s, they say that you could go through a midlife crisis. Usually they say this to the men.
Isn't that more for men?
That's what they say, but I was actually researching this and no, women go through midlife crisis too.
How do I know if I've been through that already?
I think if you were going through a midlife crisis, I think you would have known and said, shit, I'm going through a midlife crisis. Like you want to be 20 again, like you want to leave your kids tirado, like you want to go. No.
Okay.
I don't think that you've polygon.
No.
But there's people that do go through it. They're not thinking of the 40s as so awesome. And they do say that there's times of, sadness during your 40s because you're neither here nor there.
Yeah.
And you're getting older. But I don't want to talk about the negative.
Yes.
Because there's
Let's
a lot of
focus
good
on
stuff.
The good things. Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. So I'm going to pull up the article. We're definitely not going to read this word
While
for word.
you find it, this is what I love. Like Katie Bingham Smith. She's a full-time freelance writer living in Maine with her 3 teens and 2 ducks.
Ducks. Well, she's in
Ducks.
Maine, so she's probably like by a lake.
I love that. When she's not writing, she's probably spending too much money online and drinking Coke Zero. I love her. I love Coke.
Did you
Are
read?
you Coke or Pepsi?
Neither. I don't drink soda.
Well, I don't either, but when I do, I drink Coke.
Yeah, I would go Coke too. The Pepsi's
We
a
are
little flat.
not being sponsored, by the way, by Coke.
I'm pulling up the article, but my goodness, there's like a lot of stuff in here.
That's
so I don't know if
funny.
there was something that like stuck
Could
out
you
to
imagine
you.
having like 2 dogs as pets? That's hilarious.
What
Okay,
was it?
no, so one of the good things is doing what you want because you know it's good for your soul and your well-being.
Yeah.
And here I would include the well-being also of our children. The feelings of FOMO, FOMO, and paying too much attention to what everyone else says. We just covered that a little bit. Not that FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what that meant till probably like a year
I thought
ago.
you were saying like a week ago.
No, that my sister, she went to New York and she was visiting like my family that I haven't seen since my wedding 6 years ago. And I was like, oh, send pictures and this and that. And I was like, oh, I want to be there so bad. And she's like, yeah, I was telling the family how you have FOMO.
And you're like, what?
And I'm like, oh, shoot, I think that I've always been like that. That's why, like, in Puerto Rico, I will party till the wee hours because it's like, oh, there's a party there. I have to go.
Yeah, and you want
there's
to be
one
there to see
I have
everything
to
that
go.
happens.
So, yeah. So, and like, for example, I could be falling asleep and Fabian will be, go to bed. And I'm like, no, because it's the fear of
missing out. Yeah, you might be sleeping and something really good happens.
Yeah, but that has changed a little bit, the FOMO as far as like events and going out like to Miami Beach for this and that and networking. Right now it's like, no, I just, no more fear. I just want to stay home. Now I have fear of other stuff. I want to stay home, Netflix, popcorn, and wine.
Well, there we go. So let's say that's one thing that's really good about being, well, I want to say in your 40s, the first topic that you said, and then the second one would be that, like now I think you're not so like that fear of missing out. Okay. But you're also not that pressure anymore of like that you have to go out. Actually, I love to be home sometimes on a Saturday watching a movie, have my kids there, put them to bed, and then maybe stay watching still a movie with Benjamin and having a glass of wine and just being home and relaxing. Where in my 20s, again, I always wanted to be out. Always. I mean, I still like to go out every so often, but it's definitely nowhere near where it was prior.
Priorities change, tastes change. That moment when you were saying like putting the kids to sleep, when you put them to sleep, you go and take a shower, put your PJs, whatever, and you sit down in the couch. Oh my God. One thing about the 40s people, that's when everything starts hurting.
Oh yeah, that's another thing.
Around and around, and suddenly when I'm like, oh man.
That's why we need to start a workout routine seriously,
I'm like, I need a rub. Like that's when everything like starts hitting. And I'm like, but that moment, oh my God, when like the kids are sleeping and then it's like me time. It's like I get to watch whatever I want to watch. I'll have my glass of wine or I'll time to spend with my husband. But yeah, and this is always me, like I'll sit and I'm like, oh, this feels good. And then everything starts hurting and I'm like, where's that rub, hon? My back, my this, my that.
That's when we know we're like, in our middle of life, in the middle.
And now with this heat, because it is very, very hot in Miami. And then that's one thing, when you start getting like hot flashes in your 40s, it's like you don't know if you're like going through menopause, if it's around the corner, or it's because it's just freaking hot where you live. It's so confusing.
Oh my God, stop. Don't say that. I'm like wondering, and there's people that go through menopause when they're in their 30s. Like I've seen people like literally stop their like their 30s, like early. I don't know. There's a name for that, but anyways, that's again another like premenopause. I don't know. It's probably premenopause. Premenopause. Anyways, I wanted to read a little thing here. Let me see if this,
Okay.
like, if it was this. Hopefully, it was this. This author, the one that wrote this article, she had put, "My 40s have been a time in my life when I'm more aware of what it means." Wait a second, I'm not reading that right. "My 40s have been a time in my life when I'm more aware of what means the most in life."
There you go. Yeah.
That's a gift we get with time. Midlife means you've gone through some stuff. 4 decades of experiences you can look back on isn't something to sneeze at. I've gone through a divorce, I've raised babies, and now I'm waiting through their teenage years. So obviously her life experience, we're still in our relationships, but she's gone through her things and she's
Yeah.
seen things in a different perspective. And yeah, you've already lived 4 decades of life. You've gone through things, you've seen things.
You've learned.
You've
you
learned.
realize what's important, what's not, what to stress. Like if I could give one advice to my younger self, it's and I believe I learned it pretty early because I used to journal. For 3 years, I took this journal by Paulo Coelho. I don't know if
definitely know.
So, and I would write, and the journals, it was like per date, a whole page. So I would write everything. Like from the moment that I would wake up, I woke up, and then I had this for breakfast, then this person called me, then I went here, like super, it could be boring. But one time I looked back, I'm like, oh, I wonder what I was doing last year at this time. Like, so I will go and look back, and I remember like being like, what the F? Like I was stressing when I was younger over this guy, or I was stressing over this or this and that. A year later, I'm like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. And it's, know that your worries today, tomorrow, you might be
Or something
laughing
else.
about it. Yeah.
And if somebody's listening that's even older, like if we talk
Yeah.
to somebody in their 60s, they'll be like, wait till you get to your 60s.
60s,
Because in your
yeah.
60s, it's a whole different type of thing. So in that note, I don't want to keep rambling. I think this episode was more so
Yeah.
just to say, let's celebrate our 40s. We're neither here, we're
don't
neither
even have a glass
there.
of wine.
We're kind of like in the middle of it all, and we're still
Yeah.
learning as we go, but we've also learned for the past 4 decades
Yeah.
certain things that have gone in our lives, and just appreciate it. Enjoy your
Yeah.
time and let it sink in, because one day you're going to look back and you go, I'm 50 already.
Yeah. So enjoy every single minute with your girlfriends, with your family, with yourself.
Yeah.
Take time.
And embrace it. Even if you're going through menopause, just embrace it.
So cheers for your 40s.
Cheers for your 40s.
And that's it, Monica. I
Yes.
will see you guys next week. Follow us on Instagram, mamas.playground. We're on YouTube. And we're
YouTube,
everywhere.
everything. Instagram, Facebook.
Anything.
Everywhere.
There's so many. See, we didn't have to worry about that. Bye, guys.
Anyways, bye. Peace out.